It is a very big comment, big controversy which is now brewing up, where BJP has now slammed Rahul Gandhi for insulting the culture of Northeast. But on the other side, we also have a statement, in fact, post on social media platform X by Congress leader Pawan Kheda, who has also said that not only Rahul Gandhi but Rajnath Singh was also not seen wearing patka. So claims versus counter claims are now coming to the fore, and this entire comment and this entire claim has now taken a political turn. We'll have to wait and watch, Marya, as to how it is going to further snowball. But yes, as far as the comments coming from the Chief Minister of Assam, this is certainly going to snowball into a political controversy where in coming days we will see both BJP and Congress trading.
No, interestingly, I'm looking at what Himanta Biswa Sarma has said in his Twitter handle. He has taken to Twitter to put out that tweet. He has said that in an act that was deeply insensitive and insulting to the people of entire Northeast, Mr. Gandhi chose not to wear the traditional patka, a symbol of the region's rich cultural heritage, in the reception which was hosted by the Honorable President of India this evening. The question is that could Rahul Gandhi have worn it? Yes, he could have worn it. Why did he choose not to wear it is the bigger question. Piyush, why did he choose not to wear it?
Well, that's right.
The question is that Rajnath Singh was not wearing it is really not an answer here. Rahul Gandhi could have worn it.
Well, that's what the Congress party is now trying to portray. It is now saying that Rajnath Singh was also not seen wearing. But like you rightly mentioned, that yes, the big question is that why Rahul Gandhi was not seen wearing it. We have also seen various videos and photos, Marya, where the ministers of Modi government were seen enjoying the northeastern food, northeastern culture, and Rahul Gandhi was sitting right behind the group of ministers, and he was sitting with Mallikarjun Kharge. Mallikarjun Kharge, in fact, was seen wearing that patka, but Rahul Gandhi was not seen wearing that patka, and this is certainly raising a lot of questions as to why Rahul Gandhi decided not to wear that patka. This is also signifying as to how it is nothing but an attempt to disrespect the culture of Northeast. The point here also is that this entire theme of atom reception, which was hosted by the President of India, had the main focus on the culture of Northeast, on the food of Northeast. And Rahul Gandhi knew about that. Being leader of opposition who is sitting on a constitutional post, he should have embraced the culture of Northeast and should have worn that patka to highlight as to how even if he is an opposition, he could have highlighted the culture of Northeast. But not doing so has somewhere raised a lot of eyebrows. BJP is now raising questions over it. Various ministers have come out and slammed Rahul Gandhi. The special comment is coming in from Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, saying that due to this attitude of Rahul Gandhi, people have rejected Congress party time and again.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Of course, we'll be seeing other side of the story perhaps play out tomorrow more. Because Assam, remember, is going to polls in the first round of elections, which will be held in a couple of months from now. Shifting focus to our top story now, a new University Grants Commission directive aimed at curbing caste discrimination on campuses has triggered a nationwide debate. It was notified on January 13th. The regulations replace a 2012 framework and seek to protect students from the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs, economically weaker sections, and persons with benchmark disabilities. At a time when caste-based complaints have risen 118% in 5 years, the rules introduce one of the most expansive equity mechanisms ever seen in universities of the country. But it has its own flaws. From the absence of safeguards against false complaints to fears of one-sided probe and growing resentment among general category students. The controversy is now spilling beyond campuses, prompting protests, political reactions, and even a resignation. As universities begin to implement these rules, a critical question remains: will this framework strengthen trust and fairness in classrooms or deepen divisions in spaces meant for learning? We'll ask those questions to the guests who will be joining me shortly. But first, take a look at this report.
A directive issued by the University Grants Commission to curb caste discrimination on campus has kicked off a row. On January 13th, the UGC issued new regulations to replace the one framed in 2012. The new rules are aimed at protecting students from scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs, economically weaker sections, and persons with benchmark disabilities from discrimination in spaces meant to nurture learning. The rules define discrimination broadly, covering explicit acts, subtle biases, structural disadvantage, and anything that affects dignity or equality. Under the new framework, every college must now set up an equal opportunity center with an equity committee backed by equity squads, monitoring campus spaces, equity ambassadors in hostels and libraries, and a 24-hour helpline linking directly to the police. On paper, it's comprehensive equity framework designed for universities. And there is a real need. Cases of caste-based discrimination rose 118% in just 5 years, from 173 in 2019 and 20 to 378 in 2023 and 24. But the regulations are not without flaws. Critics say there is no protection against false or malicious complaints, no guidance on compensation, counseling, or reputation repair for those wrongly accused. General category students are increasingly emerging as an invisible, voiceless group within their own institutions, according to critics. Equity committees must include members from SC, ST, OBC, PWBD, and women categories, but there is no requirement for general category representation. Critics warn that this would lead to one-sided investigations where some groups are presumed victims and others presumed perpetrators. As general category students and faculty express resentment and stage protest, the issue is blowing up. Bareilly City Magistrate Alankar Agnihotri has resigned from his post over the new UGC regulations.
13 जनवरी को जो भारत सरकार का गजट रिलीज हुआ है, उसमें आपने सामान्य वर्ग के अभ्यर्थी जो यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ रहे हैं उसको स्वघोषित अपराधी मान लिया। मतलब आपका बेटा या बेटी वहां पढ़ रहे होंगे, उन पे कोई भी फर्जी शिकायत लगा देगा ये हमसे भेदभाव कर रहा है और समता समिति उसका शोषण करेगी।
The opposition claims the UGC has mishandled the issue.
UGC के कुछ उस पे उनको कुछ क्लॉज के ऊपर उनको आपत्ति है। इसमें कुछ उनका कहना है कि उसके अंदर कुछ ऐसे क्लॉज जोड़ दिए गए हैं जिनसे उत्पीड़न होगा। तो उत्पीड़न किसी का भी हो नहीं अच्छा है, बेहतर नहीं है किसी का भी उत्पीड़न हो।
सरकार तो चाह रही है मुकदमों में, जातिवाद में और धर्मवाद में ये देश बटा रहे हैं, लेकिन ऐसी चीजों से जातिगत दुश्मनी बढ़ती है।
As universities navigate this new framework, one question looms large. If classrooms turn into battlegrounds of identity, who will restore trust, fairness, and dignity on the learning environment? Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me on the show tonight, Dr. Suraj Yengre, he's the author of Caste Matters. He's a scholar. We have Alokit Tripathi, PhD student from Delhi University. He's part of the general category student. We also have Professor Chandrabhushan Sharma, who's an educationist, a renowned educationist, I must say. Dr. Yengre, I'm going to begin with you. The UGC says that these guidelines are aimed at creating equity in higher education. From your perspective, will it actually create the level playing field as the UGC is hoping it will, or will it deepen the divides which are already existing?
It's good to see you, Miriam, again, and I wish the country a happy Republic Day. I want to pay tributes to all the framers of Constitution who have contributed, and also single out Dr. Ambedkar for his yeoman's service to the nation. This new directive, I think we should welcome it, simply because it really covers, it backs its policy with data. And the numbers that you have just highlighted, 118% rise, which is quite a significant number. It's not just double, it's more than 100%. And so this kind of new policy interventions, what does to any institution who is trying to create a level playing field, equality, is to provide more grounds for people to have a space where they can act and interact with people without any fear of pushback or also any liability that they may have when they have to raise this issue. You have to understand that these laws come from a place where a student who has overcome so many institutional barriers and then has gone to university, and then to have faced the same after even gaining credentials and entering into an educational space is something that's really unbecoming of any constitutional republic. And I think what these provisions do to us at the moment is to allow us to reflect on and also create a sort of deterrence. See, any policy is meant or foundational principle of any law is to create deter, is to discourage, is not to encourage any form of violence or discrimination that may come across. So I think when we see this in light of this broader debate and perspective, I think it's a great welcoming move. And I think the department and the UGC who has done work behind this deserves a commendation.
Okay, so you are welcoming it. What about you, Alokit? What are your concerns? And particularly students like you who come from the general category.
मैम बेसिकली इस जो नया जो यूजीसी इक्विटी जो इन्होंने इंक्लूड करी है गाइडलाइंस में उस मेरे अकॉर्डिंग इसमें एक सबसे पहली बेसिक जो कमी देखता हूं मैं वो है डेफिनेशन जो लिखी गई है कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन की जो नया क्लॉज ऐड करा है उसमें इन्होंने एससी एसटी और ओबीसी को एज अ विक्टिम मेंशन करा हुआ है तो विक्टिम कैन बी अ जनरल कास्ट बॉय और गर्ल कैन ऑल्सो बी अ विक्टिम ना तो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम तो उसमें मुझे ये दिखती है अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट जो दूसरा है उसमें जो पीआईएल डाली गई थी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी जो मेंशन किया था उसमें ओबीसीज को कहीं पे भी इसमें इंक्लूड करने की बात नहीं करी गई थी तो मेरे अकॉर्डिंग दिस इज कंप्लीटली अ पॉलिटिकल मूव कह सकता हूँ इसको कि जो ओबीसीज को जो इंक्लूड करा गया है वो एक पॉलिटिकल मूव है
You see this as a political move. Professor Sharma, as someone who understands policy deeply, do you believe that UGC has struck the right balance here? Is it, good intention backed by good intent? The intention is right, but what about execution? And that's where the big challenge would be.
Thank you, Marya. I guess this is uncalled for regulation which the UGC has issued.
Okay.
As told, the Supreme Court had given a direction to the University Grants Commission to come up with such a regulation in the Vemula case that took place in Central University of Hyderabad. I have very strong belief that the University Grants Commission failed to convince the Honorable Supreme Court that the case was or the suicide happened in spite of all the measures that we already have. I don't understand why we are, in spite of the guidelines, which is known as the SEDGs, guidelines for providing equitable opportunity for socio-economically disadvantaged groups, why do you need a new regulation? You already have the Internal Complaints Committee, which is a very, very strong and powerful body on all campuses. And we have seen on campuses, every complaint is taken very seriously and campuses are satisfied. Now, you have also made a provision of ombudsman, who is a person of eminence from judiciary or academics, and still you are coming up with this. I guess this is just to satisfy the Honorable Supreme Court. University Grants Commission failed to do its duties in convincing the Supreme Court that we already have these mechanisms. Now, this is one part of it, Marya, but on a very serious note, I have a feeling as an educationist, do you believe the complete society and the courts that we are a bunch of scoundrels in the university teaching our students and we don't love our students? You are asking me to write note every academic year that I will not discriminate, I will be indiscriminately and I will treat all students equal. That means you believe that till now we have been discriminating and still students follow us.
Okay, but
you are making our job very, very difficult on campuses. Now we are shifting from term and exam to semester, where internal assessment is becoming part of it. How would we do our internal assessment?
So then Dr. Yengre, the concerns are legitimate here about the fairness. And perhaps there's no need for a provision of this nature. Why bring it at all?
It's not required.
Dr. Yengre, will you respond, please?
Yes, I mean, I think when we're talking about fairness, the premise is that we are a fair society. that is a very wrong assumption. We are starting off from a point of departure which is unfair. And to set unfairness into motion, we need fairness. Now, I take the concerns of fellow panelists into consideration, and I would just want them to take a step back and think about all those vulnerable students, let's say coming from the hill areas of some tribal land. And when they are accessing these spaces, enormous institutional barriers are raised, and very fact starts the faculty from SC, ST, OBC community are not there. Now, if Mr. Sharma, Professor Sharma has a student from a background who is equivalent or same background as a Sharma, he may be able to relate to it. But there's no way I can tell you if Professor Sharma has no access to any tribal land or a Dalit community, will be able to empathize with the lived reality of this. So we have to understand that the faculty position, in fact, IITs are lagging behind with faculty, let alone have the representation of SC, ST, OBC students. Now, taking into this fact, if the whole idea is to set across a precedence of fairness, why is there not recruitment adequate to the SC, ST, OBC population in the positions of faculty teaching, as well as the students who are apportioned a certain quota in universities? And we see there is a big blank check that remains to be filled. Moreover, when we recognize that the provisions are meant to support students, especially the kind of bureaucratic barriers that Professor Sharma has pointed out that may create, if we are moving to semester and we have to write an additional report. I mean, you have to be accountable to that. That's why students are facing this problem. And if you are somebody who is there to look out for your students, I'm sure you'll have a joy to write a report to say, you know what, I did this, and this is the constitutional mandate.
But the question here is, Dr. Yengre, that aspirations of students like Alokit are perhaps being compromised in the name of social justice.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think Alokit has to worry about it if he's not going to go and commit a crime against STs, OBCs. If Alokit is just being a good Alokit student, contributing to the nature of...
जो fake cases होंगे, जो fake allegations हो सकते हैं, उसके लिए भी इसमें कहीं पे भी कोई भी punishment mention नहीं करी गई है, जो victims होंगे उसके लिए, वो भी तो इसमें एक drawback हो सकता है, sir.
नहीं, Alokit, आप सही कह रहे हैं. Mariam, if I may respond to him in Hindi or English, whatever you recommend.
Yeah, whatever you think is right. Please go ahead. He's spoken in Hindi, you can do it.
आपकी जो चिंता है उससे मैं वाकिफ हूं, पर आप चिंता न करें अलोकित. क्या होता है कि हर कायदे का एक नियम होता है. अगर कायदे वहां बने हुए हैं तो उस हिसाब से तो भारतीय संहिता भी मत लगाओ. दुनिया भर के कायदे हैं. अगर हम उस प्रेमिस से चल रहे हैं कि
जैसे आपने भी बताया नॉर्थ ईस्ट एरियाज या कहीं से कोई स्टूडेंट आता है, तो अगर वहां से कोई फीमेल स्टूडेंट सब यहाँ पे अगर आके कहीं बाहर आके पढ़ रही है, तो उसके साथ साथ उसकी फैमिली ने भी जो एक पुरानी रूढ़िवादी सोच होगी, जो महिला शिक्षा के विरोधी रही है, उसको तोड़ के वो यहाँ तक पहुंची होगी. अब उसको यहाँ पे बाहर यूनिवर्सिटीज में आके ऐसे फेक एलिगेशंस का सामना करना पड़ता है, तो मतलब फाइनली तो वो वहीं पे आके रुक जाती है. फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से अभी मैंने एक न्यूज में देखा था, SRCC जो एक टॉप मोस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट माना जाता है, वहां पे एक फीमेल स्टूडेंट पे फेक एलिगेशंस लगाए गए SC/ST एक्ट्स के.
Now, what we are necessarily seeing here is there is a deep anxiety among the dominant caste students who are used to penetrating into the system by ensconcing their own self and really dominating within the discourse of their own caste culture. Now, if people like Alokit are confident that I am not going to do anything that's going to be against the constitutional value and the principles, I'll treat everyone equal, he need not worry about fake allegations.
Let me ask that question to Professor Bhushan Sharma. Professor Sharma first. Do you think that the UGC should revisit these guidelines, or should students like Alokit just adjust to the new reality? Professor Sharma.
I strongly feel that this regulation is uncalled for. This must be revisited, and trust your institution, trust your academia. Instead of this regulation, I will ask one thing. You say that on the committee we will have 3 professors. The UGC can the UGC ensure that every public university has at least 3 professors? You don't have. You don't have teachers. You have not filled a position in many states for last 10 to 15 years, and you are talking of these committees. Think about your teachers. Instead of doing something for the universities, I think this is a political move and not an academic move.
So that question that I asked, because of the backlash that we are seeing, what's the way forward? Alokit, your response, and then I'll give the last word to Dr. Yengre.
अब मेरे अकॉर्डिंग एक जो प्रॉब्लम है, एक उसमें इक्विटी स्क्वाड का भी मेंशन किया गया है, जो 24/7 एक कॉलेज में, कॉलेज प्रेमिसेस में या कैंपसेस में एक सर्विलांस पे रहेगी, सर्विलांस रखेगी स्टूडेंट्स के ऊपर, उनके सारे वर्ड्स, उनके सारे एक्शंस के ऊपर। तो सबसे पहले मतलब व्हाट आई थिंक, जहां एक तरफ गवर्नमेंट जो है वो साइंटिफिक टेम्परामेंट की बात करती है, वहीं दूसरी तरफ ऐसी नए रूल्स या रेगुलेशंस लाके आप फाइनली कंट्री को वहीं पे ही खड़ा कर देते हो जिस सोच से हम लोग बाहर निकल कर आए थे। और जब हम एडमिशन के टाइम पे एक अंडरटेकिंग साइन करेंगे कि कोई भी कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हम नहीं करेंगे, तो ये एक तरीके से जो है कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को और बढ़ावा देगा। उससे हमें और ये चीज होगी कि पता चलेगा कि अच्छा, ये कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हमें नहीं करना है, तो उससे एक तरीके से बढ़ावा मिलेगा। दिस इज व्हाट माय थिंकिंग इज।
Okay, I'll give the last word to Dr. Suraj Yengre. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Miriam, for hosting this panel. I think what we ought to understand is there is a fear within the culprit's mind that I may commit this crime, so let me just be, aware of this and not commit to it.
सर, वो फियर और जो डर और जो भय है वो तो सर कहीं पे भी डेवलप हो सकता है ना। मैं जब मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि इम्प्लिसिट और एक्सप्लिसिट एक्ट्स हैं क्या, उसमें डिफाइन ही नहीं किया गया है कहीं पे भी, तो मुझे नहीं पता जो मेरे लिए इम्प्लिसिट हो वो सामने वाले के लिए ना हो, या सामने वाले के लिए जो इम्प्लिसिट हो वो मेरे लिए ना हो। तो ये तो एक प्रोफेसर, टीचर्स और जो नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ जो है इवन, उनमें भी एक गैप बनेगा ना।
Okay, let Dr. Yengre finish his point, please. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Miriam. I think that's why we need an overhaul of the system, and we really need this kind of compulsory education about caste sensitivity, making students aware despite their background to know about each other's. For unfortunately, our curriculum is so geared towards fitting the dominant narrative that very rarely we see SC, ST culture and their kind of linguistic apologies that they come with by having their own tone into this market getting underrepresented. And so for us, when we see this kind of a policy that is coming out with certain measures of progressiveness, we have to welcome the equity, and it's very good because we have seen that there is a rise of 118% of such cases, and this is the government data. Non-government data exceeds. So people like Alokit and others need not worry. In fact, they have to participate, think of this space as a democratic space and a country that has gone far, and you have to think about beyond the caste principle that were existing pre-1950. Now we live in an egalitarian Republic India.
Okay. On that note, perhaps the right debate to have on 26th of January. So Professor Chandrabhushan Sharma, Alokit and Dr. Yengre, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And to all the viewers of NewsTrack, happy Republic Day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने INS विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है, और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।